This is a 30 amp breaker, 240 volt, 10-3 cable, black, red, and ground. And it's connected right here, 30 amp. You can see it. There's a man here. There you go. Okay, 30 amp, double pole, 240 volt, and I have it. It's running on the ceiling. It's not finished basement, so it's easier. And then you're putting down here. You have a 242 two-pole switch, 30 amp switch. Black goes here. Line 1, red. Line 2, line 1, black, and red. So it's black, red, ground. Everything ground. It goes to the L1, black, L2, red, and ground inside. And that's basically how it works. This is 24 volt line. This is how I showed you on the J12.1 and J12.2. Okay, and this is the steam hose. Steam hose I insulated because if it's losing heat and it's hot to touch, that means you're wasting heat, and you don't want to waste heat because the whole purpose is to create steam and create humidity. So that's why it's very important to have your hose insulated here, so it's cool to touch. Right now it's not working. I'm gonna turn it on and test it in front of you so you know it's working. But let me just show you here what's going on. So this is how you connect it. Okay, make sure it's sloped, so when the water stops, when the steam stops creating when the equipment stops creating steam, the water that's gonna basically condensate inside the pipe, it can go drain down. So that's why it's on the slope. Okay, and this is how I connect my switch. This is the high airflow switch. This is two tubes here. Low pressure, high pressure. Low pressure, it's open. The first one is open to the environment. That means don't do anything with it. And the high pressure tube, which is they call it positive pressure line, actually, high pressure, whatever. It goes inside the pipe, inside here. Rather, see the little tube? See the little tube right here? Okay, and it goes inside. There's a little probe. Okay, it's facing in duct. So when the blow is blowing, I mean the fan is blowing, the pressure, there's a positive pressure detected by the switch, and the switch knows to turn on. Otherwise, there's a possibility that your fan is working and moisture is being created and there's nothing to push it. So the moisture will just go inside here and you'll basically stay in your duct and could possibly flood you, like I mentioned. So this is how it goes. The sensors just go outside and it goes to the relay here. Like I said, there's a simple connection, but actually I forgot, sorry. Yeah, no, the outdoor sensor just goes there. And then my J12.1 and J12.2, which goes right here. Okay, it's spliced to the relay. Okay, it's spliced to the relay. This is the splice when I connect it. On the other end, it goes to the switch, in and then out, normally open and then the C, and then it goes to the H. That's all it is. And then the GF, this is the last cable, which is the this one here in the end. Okay, if you remember your setup, look at the plan. You connect it to G. Okay, connect to G. Then you have R and C, and then this is on, and I put it on 7. So it's my maximum is 7, and the 7 means at, let's say, 20 degrees. Probably this camera. It's 45%, which is, that's what you want. You want to be between 35 and 45. You don't want too hot, too moist rather, because it's gonna create a mold, and you don't want too cold. I mean too low humidity, because it's gonna be dry air basically going to the square one. So this is how it works, and then this goes to the relay. The way you connect the relay, okay, like I showed you on the drawing, and it goes right here again. From the humidifier, I spliced it. Okay, it goes to the switch, and then from the switch it goes back to the switch on the thing, which is 2 and 4, which is right here. Okay, and there's a coil side, which is C, and the nest, which is the C going back, and the nest go to the nest star. Then you splice C again, and you put a C. Okay, and then you have your Y and G and W and R and whatever. Okay, so this is how it works. And this is the relay. Okay, I just put it like that. That's all you have to do. It's 24 volts. All right, and I connect it to this monster. See this? This is what I was dealing with. I have to untangle everything and figure out what's what. This is my furnace. It's old. It's GE furnace, as you can see. From late 70s. I have to change it, but that's expensive. Right now my pilot light is on. It's not working because it's moisty, and then it's working. So there's an app for it, of course. On the app there's a question. You can specify minimum moisture that has to be maintained, and since you are away from the moisturizer, so to speak, the steam pipe is right here. You're away from it, right? So your sensor at the nest is going to detect always lower humidity. So I set up there at 30. Here I set up in the dial, as you saw it, at 45, right? 45% right here, this guy right here, boom. So I set up 45%. So it's gonna basically go between high 45 and low 30. So if it's gonna be too high, it's gonna go and it's gonna turn off because that's the maximum setting. And then if it's low, it's gonna be detected by the, I'm just pointing my fingers here, but it's gonna be basically detected by the nest, and it's gonna basically kick in and then kick out. So it's gonna be working between the range, which is good. And again, since this is efficient, 240 volt setup, 30 amp breaker, 60 amp is being created, and the hose is only 5 feet long. So basically, based on the tables in the book, it's about 32, 33 gallons per day of moisture, up to, if needed. My first day was, like I said, like 18-19%. I had to run it for like 24 hours, which was crazy because I didn't know it, but that's what it did, and it did. And now it's just turning on and off when it needs it, because I have outdoor sensor. You can do a manual setup, but I like the outdoor sensor because I can just make it automatic. So if you have a newer furnace, and it's going to be way easier because all the cables are going to be labeled. I have old furnace and had to figure out, but if I could do it, you can do it. Okay, so like I said, so this is 40, and this is the switch, and all the cables, you just follow the diagram we just showed you. There's nothing to it, and don't worry about the blue, yellow, pink, and orange, and whatever colors. All of them made out of copper. It's 18-2 cable, okay, or 18-7, whatever you want to. 7 to just indicate how many cables are there, but basically it's all made out of copper. If you pay attention and keep track what's what, your R is white, your C is white, and then your R and C, but it doesn't matter. The color is just a jacket. What matters is how you connect it, where you connect it. That's what matters, and that's where you have to pay attention. And I went over the schematics, so you know. And this is it. I mean, this I can take off, and you're gonna be able to see. Basically, it's just a cable. Go to 240 volt, a cable, line 1, line 2, G. Okay, look at the schematics. You know I'm gonna talking about. And then I just put it here in information. This is how it runs. 60 amp on the unit, because I flipped that jumper, whatever you want to call it. And then I can do about 32 gallons per day. And it jumped to 17. This is the switch. I can turn on and off if I want to. I have a breaker, which is within the visual side, but however, I like to have the switch here. So the switch is not expensive. This is $15. Something happens, boom. Okay, there's also a dial here, which I'm not gonna go over it because you know what. If you bought it, you look in this video, you know what it is. This is how it works. Okay, so let me do the little test. Let me go upstairs. Let me show you the Nest, and I'll run the test for you to show you that it's working. Right now we are at 40% humidity inside the return. Okay, And let's see what we have upstairs. Let me just move my setting and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.